did that.
It's been a minute.
I feel old.
I was gonna say, how you feeling, Kevin?
I don't know. Thanks for including me.
I know.
Anytime. You're always welcome.
It's nice to have like a male singing voice.
It's nice to have a female singing voice. A couple of them.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And all the instruments. So great. Thank you.
Did you see something new when you drove into the parking lot? Some of you, yeah, you just yes. It took a little bit, but that was one part of that fundraiser that we did, and it has actually happened, and so that's a really good thing. Lots of people down that road, and lots of stopped traffic in front of our building at certain points in the day, and so this will be a good message to send to those who are driving by. Thanks for all that you did to make that possible. Hey, if you didn't know, Create is coming up like real soon. 8 days. That's sooner than I thought. And Eamon, there's a QR code up here for Create, I think, maybe. And this is a chance to register if you haven't yet, or to invite a friend if you haven't yet. So just note that is coming on up. We have some fireside chats happening Tuesdays, pretty much every Tuesday, with the exception of Create and 4th of July week, but every other Tuesday at 7:15, and it's generally at the Herbolt's home. There's a map, and there's all the details in the Church Center app. These are just a chance to hang out and connect and spend a little bit of time together on these really lovely evenings that we're having here in the beginning of June. And then a quick little programming note, if you will, the Bema group, which is a group that gathers around the Bema podcast and has really interesting conversations about the Bible. They've changed their time to Thursdays for the summer here, and they're beginning with dinner. Whether you've never been to one or you've been to a sprinkling of them, you're welcome. Anyone can jump into this at any time. And then the final little note here, there is a vote today after our worship gathering, so we're going to give a blessing, and then in like 60 seconds, we're going to turn around, and those who are partners are going to vote on these nominations for new stewards of Jeff, Heather. We still didn't fix Heather's last name. If you're wondering, this is not a different person who you've never met. No, that's Heather Carroll and Alyssa. So that's coming up here. All right. We're going to do something pretty cool that we get to do, most every year. And Teresa's going to lead us in this time in which we get to celebrate our seniors.
Such joy to get to celebrate together, isn't it? If you have any graduates in your life, you know this is a busy time of year, so it's really fun to be able to have this moment where we can celebrate our seniors in this community. So I am going to invite 4 pretty amazing young people up here. JP DeBlay, Sydney and Sienna Law, and Tayden Bean. Come on up. You also have to come over closer to me. Come. Tayden, well done. Excellent. Come on over here so the people at home can see you. These 4 are high school graduates. It is all done. You did it. Congratulations, you 4. It's a big accomplishment. So we hope you have been celebrating well. You've had parties, or your parties are coming up. For those of you who don't know Tayden, you're relatively new to the branch, right? So we love that we get to celebrate with you here too today. So, all right, we're going to ask them a few questions because they haven't taken enough tests. We're going to give them more tests. Ready? I think you guys are going to do great on this one. I will give you all A's, I promise. Okay? Good. All right. We would love to hear from each of you. Just a couple of quick things, and we'll just go down the line. So what's next for you? High school's done, so now you get to choose what you get to do. So what's next? And then what is something that you're excited about in this season? Why don't you start with those 2, and we'll come back for one more. Tayden, do you want to start? You brave enough to do that? Awesome.
This summer, I actually just got a job as a barista at one of my favorite coffee shops, which is kind of awesome. I've been studying there for the last 2 years, so they've seen me around. But then in the fall, I'm going to U of M to study philosophy, politics, and economics with a pre-law focus, and I'm really excited for that. I feel like I went into high school feeling pretty unprepared, not knowing at all kind of who I was or what I wanted to be, and I feel a little bit more sure of that now, so I'm glad to go into college with that.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm going to U of M next year to study pharmacy, and I'm really excited to meet new people and, and also to join the triathlon team there.
Y'all are special, huh?
I'm going to Western for nursing in the fall, and I'm most excited for meeting new people and like having new experiences, and like it's a new chapter, so just new things.
And then I'm going to CC for 2 years, and then I'll be transferring out, and I'm doing a double major of sports management and finance. So, yeah.
That's amazing. Some of you have been here since you were born. Were you two here? Were you born into the branch? Is this true? Sydney and Sienna? Okay, we have the youth group leaders saying yes and parents going, I don't know. So this is fun. This is fun. David, you're very, very new to the branch here. Aw, little babies when you were here. So we have lifetime and we have short time, but we know that any sort of community has impact, right? So we just wanted to invite you all to either share a quick memory of your time here at the branch, or to, you have the mic, you have the floor. Say whatever you want to this group of people, okay?
I think being new, I'm so kind of grateful for this community because it's so unbelievably welcoming. Every morning I come in, I get smiles and hellos and good mornings, and it's incredibly sweet. I also love that in the past, the churches that I've been to have felt more like I'm being spoken at, whereas this is always more of a conversation, and it's so, I don't know, there's so much togetherness, and I can't appreciate that enough.
So I've been playing music here since I was like 10, I would say. And so I remember when we used to come here on Thursday evenings, and we would have like rehearsals, and Nate would lead us, and those were always good times. I remember stopping by Peach Wave a lot after rehearsal with my dad and Sienna. So yeah, those are good memories.
A memory I have was when we used to be younger, we would go downstairs, and my parents used to be like the teachers or whatever. And one time my dad, he was teaching, and the rest of like the kids were kind of just complaining because every year it's kind of the similar lesson, and we were just kind of complaining and not really like collaborating with him, and he just like got out a random lesson and just started like preaching like a random lesson. We're like, okay, Dad.
I've been kind of listening the whole time, so I haven't given it too much thought. I mean, just like, I feel like the branch is always doing something. There's always the next something, the next group that we're trying to support, the next organization, the next nonprofit, the next somewhere. So I think that has shaped me a lot into the person I am today and who I want to be. So I think it's a good reflection of, or a good moral compass and guide of the things I want to do in life. So yeah.
Yep. Jason, you're preaching today. Just going to tell you that right now. From the funny memories to the heartfelt to the things you appreciate about this community, we can't tell you enough how much we appreciate you. 3 of you have provided most of our music for a lot of years here, but you all have gifts that you bring to this community, and we love you, and we will support you. It's going to be fun. We will support you in all the things that are coming. You always have a home here, okay? All right, I'm sorry, you have to stay up here. Janelle is going to come and offer you a bit of a blessing as well. Janelle and Mike.
Well, first, I want to say, yes, even though I don't know you as well, Tayden, we're so glad you're here. We're so glad you're a part of this community. And for the other 3 of you, I think I've known you your entire lives, Josiah for sure. And yeah, I'm just so grateful for that. And we were talking at a branch students meeting this week, actually, and somebody said how every year this happens, right? Kids leave, they find their place, they go out in the world, and you're no longer kids, and how it's sad. And I said, yeah, but it's a really good sadness. And so I look forward to that every year, that good sadness. So I'm gonna, yeah, you're gonna say a couple words.
Oh, yeah, sure, thanks. Forgot what order we were going in. Yeah, I think just to really echo a lot of what Janelle said and what Teresa said as well, you know, whether you're staying close this fall or whether you're going a little bit further away, you know, we just really wanted, and I think, right, speak for everybody here, just want to make sure you all know that you're loved and that you're part of this community. And if there's ever anything, right, whether it's like Leah did a month or so ago for a school project, or you're in need of something, right? You're going through a hard time and you just need someone to talk to. Like if you look around this room, there are 50, 60, however many people are here, eyes and people willing to have that conversation or provide that support. So just wanted to, again, not that you don't know that, but just really make sure we said that and make sure that you all know that that's true.
Okay, so I'm going to read the blessing. When we stand at a threshold between what was and what will be, we can feel unsettled. The world feels like it is shifting, and it is. But this is not cause for fear. There's no need to cling tight and close your heart. Instead, this unsettledness is simply a precursor to the good and meaningful change God is bringing about. And as you go through this threshold, may you remain open, pliable, and ready to receive. When we step through a threshold between what was and what will be, we can feel anticipation and excitement. While we don't know exactly what lies ahead, we do sense that there are important things for us to learn and do. We have something to contribute, a role to play. As you go through this threshold, may you offer your talent and insight, your love and passion to those around you. And when we step through a threshold between what was and what will be, we do not go through empty-handed. We carry with us the tools and gifts we've received along the way. We have been given love and kindness, skill and wisdom that not only propel us forward, but becomes the gifts we can offer to others. As you go through this threshold, may you know that we give you all of our love. We will always be cheering you on, and you will always have a place here. I think we're also going to offer a blessing as a community, too, to these students. Oh, no?
We'll do that in a minute in a different way. Yes. Teresa, you want to come on up and offer them a little gift we have? Yeah.
We have just these little things for you. We tried to get some of your favorites because we want you to know that goodness should be yours and your favorites should be yours. So every time you spend a gift card or eat a piece of candy or eat one of these things, know you are loved. You're all getting your own basket. So with maybe, hopefully, some of your favorites, we can do this. Did I get it right? Excellent, excellent, excellent. There you go. All right, one more round of applause for these young people here.
Well, it's appropriate. Yeah. The seniors obviously deserve kind of a special bit of recognition, but we acknowledge that, you know, at this time of the year, it's a period of transition for a lot of people, a lot of young people. So young people, if you are moving to a different building, you know, if you're maybe going from an elementary to a middle school, or you graduated preschool and now you're starting kindergarten, you get the idea. Anybody who is in that transition here this year, would you just stand up where you are? Even give you permission to stand on your chair. Yeah, so we can see you clearly. You might want to stand up. It's going to be in your best interest. Okay, there we go. Yes, on the chair. Yeah, always in transition. Going to daycare. Will she eat the candy, though? Our gift may not be appropriate for a baby, but we have a little gift for these young people as they move into these new spaces and experience these transitions together. I'm also just mindful that, like Jeff, I know that you as a teacher are moving into a new class, going from 5th grade to 8th grade. Yeah, a big jump. We're all feeling you. We're feeling you. Are there any other teachers who are moving? We have quite a few teachers here at the branch. Where are you? What are you doing, Nicole? What's the transition for you? You just know you won't be in the same classroom that you were. Okay, so Nicole and Jeff, you deserve candy and other things. In fact, take whatever's left, you two, okay? All right. Hey, let's stand up. You can find a senior, congratulate them, find a young person who's making a transition. We'll take a few minutes to greet each other here this morning. Let's do that. We have a full band this morning, so I'm going to invite them to come on up. If you're a musician, a singer who's participating this morning, come on up. This summer we are going through the book of Amos. Amos is a prophet. Okay, you find his book in the Old Testament. Not very big, just 9 chapters long. Amos is, as a prophet, one of these people whose job it was to communicate the heart of God. If you're wondering, like, what is a prophet doing in the Old Testament, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to communicate the heart of God. I think growing up, I used to think that prophets were like fortune tellers primarily. They were future tellers. There's a part of that happening with prophets, but it's really about trying to get people to listen and to wake up to the way that God has called people to live. So here's a call to worship I want to invite you into. And I'll say the words that are in white, and then the slides in yellow are your words. And then we're going to sing a song together. But in light of Amos and this call that comes through the prophet, we say these words together. People of God, the Lord has spoken. Will we listen? Will we open our hearts? We come ready to hear, even when the words are hard. We come seeking truth and justice. God longs to walk with us, to guide us, to shape us. We want to be aligned with God's way, and so are ready to remember who we are and whose we are. Let the voice of the Lord stir us to faithfulness. Speak, Lord, we are listening. Let's stand and do some listening as maybe we sing. Maybe these words that we're going to sing are words that you want to just listen to this morning and let sink in, or you're ready to lend your voice, but let's enter this song here together.
So it's been a little bit since we've sung this one, I think. And I believe this is a song that at least these younger folks taught us when they were middle school students. Is that right?
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe? Yeah? So we're gonna bring it back and sing it again this morning. Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain and let me hear you testify. Into the wild canyons of youth, oh, there's a world to fall into. Weightless will dance like kids on the moon. Oh, I will give myself to you. As soon as you start to let go, give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain and let me hear you testify. Wave after wave, as we close too deep, oh, I'll reveal my mystery. As soon as you start to let go, give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain and let me hear you testify. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain and let me hear you testify. Mist on the mountain, rising from the ground. There's no denying beauty makes a sound. He can't escape it, there's no way to doubt. Mist on the mountain, rising all around. Give me your heart, give me your song, sing it with all your might. Come to the fountain and you can be satisfied. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain and let me hear you testify. There is a peace, there is a love, you can get lost inside. Come to the fountain and let me hear you testify.
Seat, everybody. Thanks for bringing back an oldie but a goodie. That's Need to Breathe, by the way, if you're wondering who's the artist behind that song, and they're, in my opinion, worth a listen. Give me your heart, you know, there's a peace, there's a love, there's a fountain. Those are words that are probably really important to hold on to, I suspect, given the challenges that we face in this world and in our own lives. Life is full of celebration and joy, as we've already experienced together this morning, and, you know, there's always an and. And I want to play a clip here to get us thinking for a moment about, yes, the reality that life can be challenging, if not chaotic, and even there are moments of crisis. And there is hope, there is goodness, there are people, there are always people pursuing love. And this person that you'll see on this video, you'll recognize, I suspect, and you might even recognize what he's about to say. This is Mr. Rogers. Let's give him a listen.
You know, my mother used to say, a long time ago, whenever there would be any really catastrophe that was in the movies or on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. There will always be helpers, you know, even just on the sidelines. That's why I think that if news programs could make a conscious effort of showing rescue teams, of showing medical people, anybody who is coming into a place where there's a tragedy, to be sure that they include that. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
So I want to invite you to consider a few questions here this morning that might help us think about the helpers. Yes, life has tragedy and crisis and difficulty, and there are always people, if we have eyes to see, who are around us doing the work of justice, doing the work of love, doing the work of kindness and rebuilding. So who are the helpers in your life? You might have to think about that for a moment. It's probably, you might have a heroic type of person, but I'm suspicious. I'm suspecting that most of our answers would be pretty ordinary people who are our helpers. Where have you witnessed or experienced someone showing up and providing support, kindness, aid, a listening ear? Who quietly, as Mr. Rogers says, off to the side without any fanfare, offers a hand to you? So I just want you to think about that for a moment. Maybe even this week, where did you see a helper? Who was an example of kindness and support and care and love? And it might have been to you directly. You might have witnessed the interaction between other people. Who comes to mind this morning? And can we share some of those out loud here as our prayer practice this morning, really as a way of expressing gratitude for these types of people in our lives? Who comes to mind? Eamon, you got one?
This actually kind of a story about myself.
Okay.
This happened, I don't know, like a month ago. But I was in the park.
Hold on. I can tell where this is. I'm just going to bring you the microphone, because then I don't have to repeat this story.
Okay. So as I was saying, I was in the park one day, and I was getting ready for a shoot for a project I was working on. And when I pull into the parking lot, I see this woman sitting at a picnic bench. And she looked distressed. So I walked up to her, and I said, "Hey, are you all right?" And wow, her story breaks my heart to this day. But she said straight to me that her life has hit rock bottom. She and her boyfriend found out that some people who they thought she could trust were stealing from them. She also found out that her son may have been involved in this little scam as well. And her youngest son was also diagnosed with cancer. So she was going through a very, very rough time. And in that moment, I held her hand and I prayed for her that she will go into the light. And I don't remember the woman's name, but I remember as soon as I left, I contacted a bunch of people that would pray for her as well. And Chris just so happened to be one of those people. And I believe I also reached out to Teresa as well. I don't know where she is right now, but I'm hoping she's doing better. So
Appreciate that, Eamon. I appreciate you being willing to share a way in which you tried to be a helper. Yep. I don't know that we're often brave enough to say that, out loud, so I'm glad. Who else comes to mind? Yeah, I am. You two don't mind having a microphone. Again, that's just better than me repeating everything.
Just really simply, I guess, we have a lot of baseball games that we go to, and my mom especially is always willing to help give rides and haul kids around because we don't have enough adults, to do all that in our house.
I love it. Yes. Family, friends who can help us. Andrea?
A couple weeks ago, Micah was having car trouble, and as I was driving there, I got really sad missing my dad. He's been gone 14 years, because he would be the person that I would call about car troubles. But then, as I went and sat with Micah, I called my stepdad, because my mom got remarried about 9 years ago, and I just had a lot of gratitude. So I was grateful for my dad, remembering him, even though it made me sad. And then I had a lot of gratitude for my stepdad. And so it's just small, but he's always there he has the knowledge that I don't have, that we don't have.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Alyssa.
I know. Okay, it's okay. So both neighbors, one of which is Teresa and Kyle, have consistently brought the second set of keys to either my husband or I. We are a one-car family because my husband works from home full-time, and it works out most of the time, except our Jeep has a push-to-start that is an old enough push-to-start you can lock the keys in. So we have done it a lot, and they both have come and saved us.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah. Tatum.
I talk about her all the time, an unbelievable amount, but my kindergarten and first grade teacher, Miss Amish, was the most incredible woman. I still talk to her all the time. I still will go to her house. We'll still, take walks together. And she was just so much more than a teacher to me. She taught me the kind of person I wanted to be. She cared an unbelievable amount for all of her students and was so interested in who they were and how their families were, and she's such a big support and inspiration to me. So
she's a special person. Yeah. She is. Yeah. Coming over, Sydney. I'm coming. So teachers in the room, if you're wondering if you're making a difference, if you're having one of those dark days, remember that story of Tatum.
Being a high school graduate requires a lot of work to help celebrate that. So I just want to give a shout out to my parents and also anybody here or anybody just that helped out with our grad party and stuff, my grandma and everything, because it required a ton of work, and there was a lot of behind the scenes that some people just show up for 15 minutes to a grad party and they don't appreciate all the work that went into it. So yeah.
Well done. Anybody else want to share? Yeah, Deb? For all you parents who've helped throw grad parties, that was also for you. Yep.
I don't want to embarrass you two, but something that Bethany had texted me this week. that, because I've lived here off and on for a long time, and I have been a part of several families, and when she told me that I'm part of their family, that it really hit me, because I have some friends here that I was part of their family, and for several reasons I'm probably not now, and so it just it means a lot, because both my parents have passed and stuff, so to be a part of, I mean, I've known both of them before, I think before the kids were born, and when Chris had hair, and and so we've been through a lot together, and they've offered help, and I'm getting better at accepting it. I'm trying.
Yeah, she likes to pick on me. Thank you, Alyssa. I appreciate you, Alyssa, calling that out. Thank you. Good night. Let me just offer a prayer here. God, we are so grateful for the helpers in our life, people who show up in ways unexpected and maybe even expectedly, but who are such a gift to us in what they offer to us, whether it's knowledge about a car or it's the work of an open house and all the things that are connected to that, or it's being family or neighbors. We're just so grateful. And help us to have eyes to see these people and to continue to say thank you, to be people of gratitude. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. And my final little note is that we do not have branch kids today, and so I brought the art cart like right into the room here in case you're a younger or older person who wants to get tactile this morning as Teresa leads us through Amos 3. That's right there. And Teresa, it's all yours for using it.
On a morning full of celebration and goodness, and I'm just crying all over the place, it's really hard to turn to Amos 3 because it's not pretty, friends. So we're going to take a hard left turn here and know that all of it is present whenever we gather, right? The good, the bad, the hard, the beautiful, all of those things are present here when we gather together. So hold those celebrations and those good people and transitions and all the good that it carries. And I'm going to invite you to dig into a little less than beautiful language here as we dig into the prophets. Chris talked a little bit last night, started us off with the prophets and told us about prophetic tradition. You heard a little bit earlier about that as well. We're going to dig into chapter 3. We're jumping right in. So fair warning, good news is not happening yet, okay? We're going to get there later in the book, but not today. So Amos chapter 3 starts with these words. He says, "Listen to the message that the Lord has spoken against you, O people of Israel, against the entire family I rescued from Egypt." I told you, it's not good news. "From among all the families on the earth, I have been intimate with you alone, and that is why I must punish you for all your sins." The message states it this way: "Listen to this, Israel. God is calling you to account, and I mean all of you. Everyone connected with the family that God delivered out of Egypt, listen. Out of all the families on earth, I picked you. Therefore, because of your special calling, I'm holding you responsible for all your sins." Sorry. They're not my words. I want to read words like, "Because of your special calling, you get a carve out. You're okay." Or "I'll let you off the hook." But those are not the words that we read here today. Because of your special calling, because of your closeness with God, because of your chosenness, God says, I will hold you accountable. There will be consequences when you get it wrong. Because I have rescued you from the garbage of power and wealth and self-interest. And I don't want you to live like that. When I first read this chapter, I'll be honest, I glanced right over that first verse. I treated it as an unimportant book introduction, which any of you book lovers are really mad at me right now because the introduction is really important, right? It gives you some really good context, and I think that's true here too, because that little line that says, I rescued you from Egypt, or I delivered you out of Egypt, holds a lot for us to dig into. This is a group of people that knows what it's like to live in an unjust system, a system that oppresses, that only benefits those who are in power, those with great wealth and influence. Those people flourish and others don't. It is harmful for anyone else. That system leads to death, sometimes literally, but always figuratively. That is the life that the people of Israel come from. Slavery, degradation, oppression. That is the life that God rescued them from, that God saved them from. God pulled them out of that life and brought them to the land of milk and honey, the life of flourishing and of goodness. Think back with me to that Exodus story. The Israelites were delivered from Egypt. They crossed the Red Sea. They were wandering in the desert for a little while. Manna came from heaven, very cool. And then they showed up at a mountain and they received the 10 Commandments. And God said, these are the rules for you to follow now that you are outside of the rule of Egypt. They needed some boundaries to live within, right? Some agreed upon ways to be together. Good idea, yeah? But if we dig just a little bit deeper, we might notice something about these commandments. They're not just random commands. They actually seem to fly in the face of a system of power. They seem to counteract the ways in which the Egyptians and many other powerful nations lived. The first commandment, have no other gods before me. I grew up hearing, you obey this simply because you should. God is the one true God, nothing else to see here, the end. But I wonder if there's more. Because the ancient Near East gods were all gods that controlled something, like weather or fertility or agriculture. And they controlled that from afar. But Israel's God, that God traveled with them in a cloud, in the Ark of the Covenant. That God was present. Presence instead of brute force power of the other gods. And God is inviting Israel to remember presence and not just power. Sabbath. Don't strive for more and more and more. Rest, relax, enjoy the good things of life. Be present. Don't steal, don't lie, don't want whatever the others have. Think of the most unscrupulous business person you can imagine. Lying, stealing, and cheating are sadly often the norm, but that is not the way of God. It's not the way of freedom. It's not what the Israelites had been rescued from. The Israelites knew better, and so God held them to a standard of justice. And because they knew better, because of their chosenness, God held them to a higher standard. God's chosen people were not given a do whatever you want, get out of jail free card. God's chosen people were given a standard to live by and to show to the world around them. And judging by the words of Amos here, God's chosen people were not living up to that standard. And Amos issues a warning. Verse 10 says this, my people have forgotten how to do right, says the Lord. Their fortresses are filled with wealth, taken by theft and violence. Therefore, says the sovereign Lord, an enemy is coming. He will surround them and shatter their defenses, and he will plunder all their fortresses. My people have forgotten how to do right. They know better. But they've turned toward these things of wealth and theft and violence. I could sit here and be super judgmental to the people of Israel. You've been rescued from so much. Why would you ever turn back to a life like that? It doesn't rationally make sense. And they'd actually been warned much, much earlier when they were given the 10 Commandments. Deuteronomy 6 says this after the commandments: when the Lord your God has brought you into the land that God swore to your ancestors, a land with fine, large cities that you did not build, houses filled with all sorts of goods that you did not fill, hewn cisterns that you did not hew, vineyards and olive groves that you did not plant. And when you have eaten your fill, take care that you do not forget the Lord, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. Take care that you do not forget. Do not forget your God. Do not forget your deliverance. Do not forget what you were saved from. I read something from an Old Testament scholar, Walter Brueggemann, who I've come to appreciate quite a bit. He actually passed away this week, so I was reading his words, and then he passed away. He's been a gift to Christian scholarship, I would say. He wrote these words about this passage that we just read. Deuteronomy warns Israel that affluence will produce amnesia that will cause the scuttling of covenant identity. Covenantal identity. The best description that I can give you actually comes from a children's Bible. It comes from this children's Bible here, the Book of Belonging, which is relatively new, and it's beautiful. In the section that describes the prophets, it says, as the kingdom stretched and grew, God's plan stayed the same. And it said, this is God's plan. And this is what I think Brueggemann meant by covenantal identity. Trust that you belong, that you are beloved, you are delightful. Choose life and flourishing. Wrestle with me, listen to wisdom, remember my ways to be a blessing to the world. Affluence and comfort and ease, all of those things can make you forget. This is not who you are meant to be. You are not power-grabbing people. You are not violent people. You are not people who use those who are less privileged than you. You are covenantal people. And covenantal people do not hoard blessing. They share it with the world around them. This is not a request from God to God's people. This is not a, hey, would you consider acting like this, please? I think it might be good for you. No, this is a demand. This is expected behavior. More so than those who were outside of Israel who don't actually know better. They haven't been saved from it. So do better, Israel, God says. Do not perpetuate the cycle of hate and death. Do better. There's a large part of me that wants to throw these words in the face of the American evangelical church and say, do better, church. And honestly, yes, do better, church. You know better. But as Chris said last week, too, I can't just let the prophets speak outward when they're clearly looking inward as well. I can't ignore what the prophets might be saying to me, too. I can't claim to be living out my covenantal identity perfectly, because sometimes I don't choose life and flourishing for those I disagree with, and sometimes I don't really want to offer blessing to those in the world. Sometimes, can we be honest? Sometimes I just want to burn the systems down that oppress, send those in power running from the hills, and walk away. But I was listening to a book this week that Janelle brought back to my mind by Rachel Held Evans. It's a book that she passed away too, so apparently I'm quoting people who have death anniversaries here. It would have been her birthday today. A friend of hers finished writing the book. Jeff Chu finished writing the book for her. It's called Wholehearted. And she reminds us that we are people who believe in the resurrection. And if that is true, then we should live like it. She wrote this in one of her books. Christians are supposed to be a living testimony to the miracle of resurrection. We are people who believe in resurrection. We're not people who just want to burn it all down and watch it smolder. We are people that believe that goodness and flourishing can come even out of the ashes. We are people who make goodness and flourishing come to life. You know, reading the prophets doesn't always bring a lot of hope. There's a lot of hard to wrestle with in the prophets, in Amos. A lot of judgment and not a lot of resurrection. I'm sorry to say, but we're not going to get a lot of that from Amos until like 8 chapters in. But here's the hope I find even in this chapter about destruction and punishment. God hasn't given up. God hasn't given up on the Israelites, hasn't lost faith in them. God still expects them to turn it around, to live out their covenantal identity. God demands it of them, even when they had failed. God has always been and always will be the God of unrelenting justice, the God of life and of flourishing. That has been true and always will be true. And God will not rest until we, all of us, are people of life and justice and flourishing. May that be so. You know, coming to this table each week gives us a tangible reminder of the lengths that God will go for justice. This table reminds us of God's presence with us. Yes, we remember the death and resurrection of Jesus with this meal, but we do so around a table. Just like Jesus gathered those who were closest to him around a table, with those that he chose to be around. May this table, may this meal remind us always of God's presence with us, of God's unrelenting heart of justice, and of God's tenacious hope for goodness and of flourishing. These are the gifts of God for the people of God. We need some helpers here. We'll talk more about helpers here. Look for the helpers. We need helpers to serve communion. Some of you help us do this each and every week, and yes, I will put you in that category of helpers that Mr. Rogers talks about. Look at you. Cindy and Sienna, look at you. I love it. I said Madison. You know what? I'm so sorry. I just looked over you. I'm so sorry. Now Cindy kind of has to come up and help. I'm just kidding. She's going to go play. We're going to have 2 stations for communion, one in the front that has a gluten-free option and then one in the back. Yep, you're good. You can stand right here. I'll have the gluten-free option. Come, for the gifts of God are ready for the people of God by Sienna and Madison. on the night that Jesus was betrayed, he gathered his people around a table. And he said, "This is my body, which I give to and for you. As we eat this bread, remember and do likewise." There's so many of you here today that we ran out, so I get to hold the big one, which has nothing in it, sadly. At that same meal, Jesus took the cup and poured a good glass of wine to share with those closest to him. And he said, "This cup is my blood, poured out for you so that you may know goodness and love and sacrifice. As you drink this cup, remember and do likewise." I don't know either. And just keep turning it off. We're going to pass this basket around for your cups. Musicians, you can actually have a seat. I'm going to invite Noel to come up here. You can sit up here if you want, but we did take your chairs, so sorry about that. Noel DeWard is going to come up here, and we are going to do some storytelling this summer. Each and every Sunday, we'll have somebody different come up and tell us a bit of their story together. Yeah, absolutely. Have that one. Noelle is going to tell us a little bit about what she's been up to. But first, Noelle, would you give us just a little intro about you and who you are and what you...
That's okay.
Good.
Good morning. I'm Noelle DeWard. Just some quick fun facts about me. I'm a junior at, well, no, actually I'll be a senior at Grand Valley State University. I'm studying communications and psychology, so going into that next year, exciting stuff. I've been working at Reach the Forgotten Jail Ministry for 4 years now, as their communications and events assistant. So I love my job, and then on top of that, I have also been getting increasingly involved with the Reformed Church in America, the RCA, which is the denomination that our church is. Yeah, so.
Yeah. You've been doing a number of trips and trainings and a lot of good stuff with the RCA. I've gotten a lot of opportunities to learn and to travel. So we wanted to invite Noelle up to tell us a little bit about some of those opportunities. She's been all over the world, friends. This is quite amazing. So share with us whichever ones you want to talk about this morning.
Yeah. So the first trip that I went on was to Oman and Bahrain, which is in the Middle East, kind of by the Arabian Peninsula, and this was in 2022, so after my first year of college. I traveled with a group of Hope College students. They were doing their May term, and I kind of just tagged along. And this trip, it was 3 weeks in Oman, and that was the start of a 1-year volunteer program that I did with them. I helped them with social media and communications virtually from the States for a solid year after this trip. So yeah, this first trip, I kind of have names for each one. So this first trip I would call cultural immersion. It was building bridges and forming interfaith relationships. So there was a lot of connections and relationships built between the Christian group that I was with and the Muslim community. So I have lots of great friends from that, and it was an amazing trip to start with. And then I took a little detour to Bahrain and stayed with some missionary friends they are pastor and teacher over in Bahrain. And then my second trip was to Peru. This was summer 2020. Okay,
Last
sorry,
summer.
my first trip was 2023. Yeah, yep. And then the second trip, this was 2024. I went to Peru for a week with a group called She Is Called, or Ella Es Llamada. And it was with Liz Testa. It was an all-women group of ages from 16 to 67, I think. So it was multi-generational, and that trip was more mission-focused. We had a mission, and we spent time with the Peruvian youth who were in transition from kind of their teenage years into adulthood, going from the rural areas of Peru and into the city. And their stories were humbling and heartbreaking, and so the mission was to sit with them in that and be a presence. We spent time with them, and we learned their culture, we ate their food, and it was a really beautiful experience to share with those women. And then most recently, I spent 2 weeks in Europe doing a church planting retreat with the RCA. This trip was quite different from my other two in that it wasn't necessarily a mission, but it was a time to observe and learn and absorb and take home. So part of that is we participated in their church services, and it was very lively, and we were jumping up and down and singing and praising, and it was a really beautiful experience. So that first part was in Portugal, and we spent time in the Portuguese churches there. And then the second part of that trip was to come together with all the other groups that were at different other European locations, such as Albania, they were in Hungary, the Netherlands, and so we all came together in the Netherlands and had a retreat where we reflected and shared stories of what we had experienced and the value and the importance of those experiences. So I'm fresh from 1 week ago I came back, so fresh from that.
We're just impressed that you're on the right time zone right
Oh
now.
yeah,
so
no.
good job.
I
no, we're
forced
not
myself
actually,
right
yeah.
back into it.
Well
yeah.
done. Well done.
Have to. Yeah.
Those are some amazing experiences that you've been able to have. What is something that you've learned, either about yourself, about other people, about God? What's something that stands out to you in all of those trips and experiences?
I was at Mission 2025 back in January to share about some of these experiences, and this was before Europe, but I shared with them that I've learned to keep an open posture of curiosity, compassion, and empathy. So leading with that, accepting yourself and accepting others and knowing that God does the same, and being that acceptance and love for others. I've learned that how I want to live, and the most important thing to me is to be the example of Jesus, and I do that through my connections, I do that through my communication, I do that through my relationships. And so through these experiences, that is the biggest takeaway. And also just surrounding yourself with good people. Yeah. Like, just good people who will sit with you and they will listen and they won't judge and they allow you to ask questions. It makes all the difference, I think. It has for me, and so I want to be that going forward. And so, yeah, I'm just thankful for opportunities to share. I feel humbled and honored, and also like it's just me. And really, the big picture is God and what He's doing, and I'm just happy to be one of the hands and feet of God in these experiences.
You're living out your covenantal identity very well, Noel. You are, those words that you said of curiosity and compassion and empathy, all of those things, you're learning to hold them so that you can give them to others and be a presence. So you can be a helper, right? So thank you. Help me help thank Noel, please. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome. Thanks. Musicians, now you can come up. Noel's family is experiencing a pretty major shift themselves, right? Some of you know that Nate DeWard has taken a interim pastor job in the Virgin Islands. So I'm sensing travel is a theme for your family. So going all over the place, I love it. So there's some transitions coming as well. So I invite you to be a person who is curious about Noelle's experience, both what she had talked about, but what's coming next as well, so we can be a supportive helper for you as you are learning to be for the world around you. All right, one more time, I'm going to invite you to stand. We're going to sing one more song led by these amazing young, mostly people. I'm the same age as you, Kevin. It's okay. Young at heart. You're under 50. You're good. You're good.
Christ is my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand when everything around me is shaken. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, 'cause he's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? He won't. He won't. And I've still got joy in chaos. I've got peace that makes no sense. No, I won't be going under. I'm not held by my own strengths, 'cause I build my life on Jesus, and he's never let me down. He's faithful in
my firm foundation, the rock on which I stand when everything around me's shaking. I've never been more glad that I put my faith in Jesus, 'cause he's never let me down. He's faithful through generations. So why would he fail now? He won't. He won't. He won't fail. He won't fail. No, he won't fail. He won't fail. He won't.
I kind of never want you to stop playing, because what a gift to have this group of musicians up here. What? Young musicians. Kevin, you are young at heart, and I don't know. I can't dig myself out of this one. I'm
Probably
so
less
sorry.
mature than most of them.
But you know what's really amazing about this group here? It is, you are a whole bunch of different ages and a different experiences in life, but you get to come together and make music and lead us, and for that we are extremely grateful for all of you. Thank you. Did I do it again? Okay, good. That's gonna make me cry. It's fine. It's a beautiful expression of who we are together, right? I want to leave you with the words of covenantal identity from a children's Bible. May we all be people who live this out. Trust that you belong, that you are beloved, that you are delightful. Choose life and flourishing. Wrestle with God. Listen to wisdom. Remember God's ways to be a blessing to the world around you. May we be those people this week. Thanks for being here, everybody. If you are a partner, sit down. The rest of you are welcome to go. We're going to have a quick vote here on those new stewards. Thanks for being here, everybody. Oh, yeah.
We have cupcakes after